Hey guys, my name is Batimio, and welcome to my Battlefield 3 weapon review series. Today's weapon of choice is the L96 bolt-action rifle, which is the second assignment unlock for the Recon class in the new Back to Karkand expansion pack. And to get some basics out of the way, the weapon holds 10 bullets in its clip, or 11 if you have one in the chamber, and it also has the standard damage capabilities of most of the other bolt-action rifles. So the weapon does 75 damage at a range of 1 to 20 meters, and after that, the damage starts to drop off until you reach 60 meters, where the weapon does 55 damage a shot. But as most of you should know, with bolt-action rifles, the damage really isn't all that important because for the most part you should be going for headshots, and headshots at any range is a one-shot, one-kill. As for its reload time, there really isn't much difference between this and the other rifles. If you have a bullet in the chamber, the weapon reloads in 2.6 seconds, but if you fired your last shot, it will take 4.8 seconds to reload. Like I said, there really isn't much difference between the reload time compared to the other bolt-action rifles. The only other faster weapon is the SV98, which has a 0.2 second faster reload time. One noticeable difference between the L96 and the other bolt-action rifles is its bullet drop. So when fired, the bullet travels at a speed of 540 meters a second, which is the second fastest velocity out of the bolt-action rifles. The only other rifle that has a faster velocity is the M98B, which has a velocity of 650 meters per second. But compared to the other two bolt-action rifles, you're going to have to compensate less for bullet drop at longer distances, and you won't have to compensate as much for moving targets because of the higher bullet velocity. Personally, I really like the bullet drop of the L96. I feel that I can consistently line up shots easier compared to the other rifles. And this is all personal preference, really. You should really base your decision on which rifle you prefer based on how comfortable it is when you use it. So one thing you need to take into consideration when choosing a new rifle is how much the weapon obscures your vision when you're either running or when you are just standing still. And in my opinion, the L96 obscures your vision a little bit more, or it takes up more of the screen when you're standing still compared to the SV98. But when you're running forward, I think it doesn't take up as much as your screen. Maybe it's just me. You guys can be the judge here. But compared to the M40, it's pretty much night and day. I find that the M40 takes up just as much of the screen when you are standing still, but when you're running, that thing is just... it's just like you can't even see anything in front of you. So I prefer the L96 compared to the M40 just based off this reason. As for some useful attachments, I always prefer using the 12x optic scope on all of my sniper rifles, and I also like to use the bolt pull. I know a lot of people do like to use the bipod, but in my opinion, anyone who uses a bipod, I will kill you instantly because you are just standing still and you're an extremely easy target to take out. So if you are always using a bipod, I would try using the bolt pull and being a little bit more mobile, and you're probably not going to get sniped by players like me who like to take you out really quickly. So those are my attachment recommendations. I only use those two. I don't go for the third at all. I don't think you need a laser sight or a flashlight at the end of it. You can always put a silencer on it if you want to be a little bit more stealthy. I usually don't do that, but you know, it's all personal preference. Overall, I would say that the L96 is probably the best bolt-action rifle in the game right now. Unless you're going for those really, really long ball shots, then I would use the M98B. But that's just because it has a higher bullet velocity, so you're not having to compensate for so much bullet drop. But like I said, overall, this weapon is just kind of the complete package. It doesn't really obstruct your vision that much when you're running, or really even when you're standing still. I find that I'm able to compensate well for the bullet drop and take people out at pretty much any range. You know, it has a high clip size. It's just a great overall weapon. So if you haven't tried or unlocked the L96, I would highly recommend that you try it out and unlock it. So yeah, it's just an overall great weapon. But this about wraps up the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you give this video a rating. And also, if you'd like to see more videos from me, I recommend that you subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Twitter. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.